Obviously, that game was brilliant. Like, certainly in the last, I mean, I don't even know where you put it all time, but certainly in the last 5 years, that's up there with one of the best I've watched.
It was very entertaining. I was saying to Levi as well, it really annoyed me, the fact that VAR was looking at that Haaland goal. I think it was his second goal. It really got to me.
Looking at it for ages as well.
It got to me so bad. I swear it was like 5 minutes of them looking to see. So Haaland sat on the ball as he was sliding in the net. The ball was behind him, sliding in with him. And they was zooming in to see if the ball touched his elbow as it's going in towards the goal. Bearing in mind, if it did touch his elbow, it probably would have stopped it from going in anyway. But they were zooming in so much and looking so hard for it. If I actually did touch him on the elbow a slightest bit and they ruled it out for that, the game has officially gone.
But the problem with that is, because I completely agree with you, by the way.
You just let me have it. I thought you disagreed with me. Me have a rant there.
I can't believe, based on what we've seen so far, that when a player, I've seen a few iterations of it, and I know this is different, but when a player makes a tackle and it bounces up and hits their arm, and they've not done anything, and their arm could be firmly by the side, and then they score, and it always gets ruled out. They're regardless of what happens,
because it's leading towards the goal.
Yeah, but if you then pass it and someone else scores it, it's just fine.
Yeah,
there's that weird rule, isn't there?
Yeah,
and I was thinking, because he scored here and it's hit his arm, they're going to rule this out. I thought it was that black and white, these rules, and I don't think it should have been ruled out.
I'm
quite surprised that they didn't.
The rules are that complicated now. I don't think anyone knows what they are.
No, well, that handball one is literally, if it hits your arm in the build-up and you score, it's ruled out. It doesn't matter if it was intentional or anything.
Yeah.
But if you then square it and someone else scores, it doesn't get ruled out, supposedly. And I know this one's very different because it's literally the contact's so strange, and obviously they're never going to give it. And I don't think they should. But I was more shocked with how shit we know they are and how stubborn they are to their own rules. I'm shocked that didn't get ruled out.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen from VAR in the last sort of 12, 18 months.
Well, I know you like Neil Warnock, don't you?
Yeah, he's class, yeah.
Yeah. So he actually, there's a page that basically released Neil Warnock's suggestions to VAR. So he says a 30-second time limit on decisions. Fair enough, but I think that's
also difficult though.
It will be really difficult because then I think you'll see a lot more mistakes.
Yeah, I like the idea. I understand they want it to be quicker, but I can see that being more problematic than
if you're having it 30 seconds. I don't think you should even have VAR if it's 30 seconds.
I mean, it depends. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But I think it's difficult to push people in that time.
Well, they're making mistakes now on offsides, and they've got about 5 minutes. Stop using slow motion replays. So I think we both agree with that.
No.
Do you not?
No, I think they should have both. I think they should have both.
Yeah, but when they're slowing them down, it looks like a red for anything.
No, I agree, but I think there's a world where you watch it and then you can watch it again. I think you need to know. In fast motion, sometimes you can't see where the contact is and things like that. If you're looking at a tackle, for example, and you want to say...
Yeah, but I think you should only look at the game... How
high was that contact? It's quite hard in full fast motion.
Yeah, but the refs have been looking at full fast motion for years, and I think if they looked at a screen but still stayed in full fast motion, I think you'd get a better decision.
I think they need both there, honestly. I don't
stop pausing it at the point of contact when the ref goes over to the monitor. That's even worse.
I've had seen some absurd ones now where they go over and the contact's literally on the screen paused.
And the ankle's facing the other way.
That changes their perspective of that then, because that's the first thing they've seen.
Yeah.
So I think play it in fast motion, play it in slow motion, go frame by frame if you think that's necessary.
Yeah.
Decision comes. But make it the same every time.
Yeah.
Fast, slow, show the stills. If you can't make a decision, then fucking sack him, because everybody else can, and we're all sat in armchairs at home or in the ground, dropping pastry on the guy's head in front of me.
Yeah, that'll still be in your pocket, that pie.
Be under my seat until half time.
Another one is allow refs to use common sense.
I mean, that's too broad of a...
Yeah, they should be using common sense.
I think
what
he means there, or my interpretation of that, is that almost like where people say the refs don't understand the game properly, and they're going by the rule book.
A better example of that is referring to the Rashford one.
I was just going to say
that's common sense.
Yeah, you know that is not intentional, and you know that is an accidental one. So if you want to book him. But that is not a red card.
Yeah.
Never in a million years.
Must be daylight between attacker and defender for offside. So we saw something like rumours recently that Wenger's view on offsides could be getting introduced, and it's where the full body has to be offside, but we don't really agree with that.
I understand the sentiment because it's a good idea in terms of it is then clear if you're on or off.
But you could have like
I think that gives you a huge advantage.
Near enough your full body apart from like your foot that's offside.
Yeah, if they look and the angles are as sort of bad as what we've seen so far when VAR is used for offsides, if somebody's ankle is on and the rest of their body is off and they've taken a Haaland-sized stride, that's still a huge advantage. And if that's going to be the threshold, then fine. But they need to know that's quite significant.
You said before, didn't you? You said it'd be better if you to determine an offside, it has to be a foot, like your foot offside,
an actual foot. Yeah. So like whether it's your furthest foot, your back foot. If it's your back foot, then your furthest foot's off anyway. So I think the foot has to be clearly out.
The full foot.
Not so like if your heel's in line with their toe, fine. But if it's like there's a pitch between the two, it's still going to be difficult. They're still going to struggle.
Oh, you still have to draw lines on the foot then.
I will give him some credit for the fact that none of this is very easy to do because you can sort of pick holes in every different method.
Yeah.
And I think they've got to sort of pick the path of least resistance and pick what they think is going to be the least problematic, which you'd assume is what they think they've done already. But
I think it's too complicated, all these rules.
But yeah.
But the last one is appoint independent group of ex-players and coaches. I don't really agree with that. I think it'll go mad if that happens.
Yeah, I think they all have that because of their experiences with the game. I think it's necessary maybe for them to have regular meetings with officials, whether you're a current player, an ex-player, current manager, ex-manager, to get a bit of perspective if these referees have never actually played a game of football in their life.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it could go too far the other way then. And even so, you're not going to get everybody to agree with you. There's still going to be a bit of disruption there. So again, I understand the sentiment, but I think that's not as straightforward as it sounds.
The Wenger one says, if the attacker's entire body completely overtakes the last defender, it's offside. But if only a section of the attacker's body is offside, it will no longer be considered offside. So yeah.
See, I think that's difficult because you're then counting on the angles still.
Yeah. Because
we've seen how these angles can be a bit confusing.
You're going to need cameras in every angle on the pitch.
And at that point, like you say, you could be... the good thing with that as an idea is it does work. You could look at it and say 100% whether that's in line. They're still going to have the odd occasion where it's a difficulty with the angle, but it would be a lot clearer than it is at the moment.
I honestly think we should scrap VAR in terms of all the other decisions apart from VAR. I think we should have took baby steps. I think we should have gone, right, we're just having offsides. Then we're going to start using monitors for red cards and stuff. Like, take it baby steps. They've just thrown it all in at once, and I think VAR could have been a success if they just did the little baby steps.
But I agree, but at the same time, what you'd then argue is if they'd done that, for example, and they've put it in, and then you're seeing a decision get given the wrong way, and you're saying, we've got the cameras, why can't they do something about it?
Yeah.
And I would argue the ones that are red cards, I don't think there's an issue with the technology. The technology's fine for red cards. That is the referees and the rules. Like some of the stinky ones we've seen, and then again, we've also got inconsistencies between the Premier League and European football in terms of what constitutes a red card.
How many red card worthy tackles have we seen that's even gone to VAR and they're not even given it?
Yeah, I think that's something that still falls into the referee's discretion. That's got nothing to do with the technology.
Quality of the referees has gone bad on it. That's why.
It's not great. I think VAR's exposed that. The offsides is a lot more of a temperamental subject because of the way the angles, the cameras look. I refuse to believe that they can be consistently implemented from one stadium to the next in terms of the end product, what you get there is. We look at the offsides in European competitions, the way they have those simulations come up and show you.
Why can't?
Well, that looks like it works, so let's use that because that doesn't look problematic.
And to be fair, they don't have to show them doing lines and stuff. So that couldn't even be the right image, but they make you feel like that's the right image.
And they can use that in stadiums in the Premier League when they're playing Champions League football.
And you've seen how fast they use it as well. So, seen how fast it comes on the screen.
Isn't that what they use at international level as well? It's the same, isn't it? That's how they do offsides.
Yes, yeah.
That seems to work for me.
Why can't they do that? There must be like a rule that they can't use that sort of.
No, unless like UEFA have got some sort of hold on that technology, or the FA was so adamant that they wanted to use their own. God knows, but in my opinion, that seems like it works. And what you also get with that is when it shows you that still to show if they're offside or not, it's not real footage. It's like that recreated.
That's what I mean.
So
they're showing you something that might not even be the right.
I mean, that's true, but you've got to, at the same time.
But it stops us going.
Well, that looks off.
Yeah, it stops you doing that.
That is clear to me. That
yeah, yeah.
So that'd be my answer on that, really.
Honestly, I don't think offsides need changing. I think that's the only good thing that's about VAR at the minute.
I think they struggle with the decisions, but yeah, I think the sentiment of it is fine.